For more on that vote, let's bring in Shai Franklin. He's a former executive for the World Jewish Congress and currently partner with Gotham Government Relations. Welcome, Shai. You know, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, they present their counter bill to the vote that we're seeing underway now as a push to exercise the First Amendment rights in regards to boycotting. Now, I want us to take a listen to what Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib said on the floor today.
Americans of conscience have long and proud history of participating in boycotts, specifically to advocate for human rights abroad. Americans boycotted Nazi Germany in response to dehumanization, imprisonment, and genocide of Jewish people.
Boycotting Israel and the Jewish state, comparing this to boycotting Nazi Germany during World War II. What do you think about this comparison?
I don't think it's a comparison. And if you look in the text of the resolution, it lists a whole series of boycotts that were popular boycotts in the United States going back over 100 years. In fact, the Boston Tea Party was sort of an extreme form of boycott. So it's basically making the case that it's a hallowed principle. The bus boycotts in the South in the 50s and 60s that John Lewis was involved in as a student activist, that's why he's on this bill. He's also a resolution, rather. He's also on the other resolution that's against BDS, because neither of them actually has any legal force. So the fact that she mentioned Nazi Germany, that's a clip. She probably spoke for several minutes. I don't know what else she said.
That was actually, yes, one item within that resolution, and Congressman Lee Zeldin in New York, Republican, had this to say about it. He said this new pro-BDS resolution by Omar has the nerve to claim moral equivalency between boycotting Nazi Germany and boycotting Israel. He called it disgraceful. He says that he's a hard no on that one. Again, you mentioned there's no mention of Israel per se or BDS in this. But what does this tell you about the divide within the Democratic Party right now?
Look, the American Jewish organizations, the Israeli government, and the Republican Party are very happy to see this issue within the Democratic Party. Most of the Democrats, I would say 90%, 75% of the Democrats are on the bill, are on the resolution opposing BDS. So the Democratic Party is pretty firmly against BDS, but they're also pro-First Amendment. If you recall, a number of months ago, people like Senator Cory Booker, who's considered so solidly pro-Israel, last week he was asked about settlements and by a left-wing group, and he said, if that's your issue, then don't vote for me. He was taken to task because he wouldn't support a previous anti-BDS resolution because he said that it would undermine First Amendment rights. And I think another Democratic candidate who's also solidly pro-Israel, Kirsten Gillibrand from New York, she also had concerns about that. They worked out the concerns, they changed the language, and they were able to put it through. But the First Amendment, the Republicans seem to think that the Bill of Rights begins with the Second Amendment, but it actually begins with the First Amendment.
But the Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, very quickly, and Ilhan Omar, would you say that they respect the First Amendment rights of their political rivals?
I would hope so. I haven't seen them support censoring
Tucker
news.
Carlson's show, for example, calling for advertisers to boycott his show, for example, by Ilhan Omar.
I personally don't support any boycott.
Yeah, I get it, but okay, we got to leave it there, though.
Thanks.
Shai Franklin, always a pleasure.